Oops.
Oops. Okay. What a way to start the show. And just like that, out with the old, in with the new. There's a new sheriff in town, and she goes by the name of Simphiwe Mthethwa. And her partner in crime is the one and only, the go-to guy for all things sports. He is also the host of On the Bounce. It is Ben
It
Karpinski.
is. Correct.
And before you guys get typing there, where's Gareth? Hey, what should I clip? Don't worry, he will be back Monday. But let's enjoy today, which is Friday. Also, my birthday!
Yes, it's just the big day. There it is. The real network remembered. That's so nice of them. Really on the button there. So do a happy birthday. And I'm not just saying because it's a milestone age, just this. What a way to get into winter, huh?
I know, right? I've officially exited the group chat of 20-something-year-olds. And now I'm an adult.
So, I mean, I know people generally get emotional. I know when I turned 40, there was like an emotional thing.
Oh, that's a big one, eh?
I'm trying to make you feel young here. I'm trying to make you feel young.
Okay.
But was that your first thought? Or was your first thought this morning joyous happiness?
No, I was like, yes, I'm old, eh? What have I done with my life?
Well, you've got a kid, James. I mean,
I don't think that's a big achievement. I don't think I should
things do you want to rack up here?
I don't know. I would have loved to have been married,
James, still the conversation here.
No, you're not a millionaire as well, but like...
Don't estimate it. James, one of those dark horses.
Yeah, he is. Hey, I don't know. You must tell me about your ancestors. Maybe they, are the ones I'm looking for. So, my type. So, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. I'm turning things around here. Okay, yeah. But don't you find it's also kind of funny that as you get older, you realize how, like, your young person goals, dreams, and aspirations are really, like, unrealistic and or silly?
Oh, yes. Like, definitely. But I think the nice thing is, when you're young, you have that excuse of, oh, I'm young, I didn't know better. That's I think that's the beautiful excuse to be like, yeah, I didn't know better. I didn't know what I was doing. I was only 24. Like, what do you mean?
Terrible excuse at any stage of the game. Because you can still use that. Because the thing about that is that when you hang around people who do fuck all or aren't accomplished, that excuse will still fly until you're like 60. Because it's all relative.
No, but there's much more, like when you look at a 35-year-old man who's like, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. You kind of judge him very harshly, and you're like, what do you mean? You must have your things together.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense for someone who's, example, when you turn 40, you can't use that excuse of, oh, I didn't know better. You did. There's no excuse anymore.
So what you're saying is not you. But I was having the same chat with Ketsi, who works here with us. So he turned 30, right?
Yes.
And the first thing I said to him was like, hey, you can have a big weekend. He's like, no, I'm getting my shit together this weekend. Like, that was actually his response. It's like, he felt this was it. This was the moment.
Yes. And I also feel it. I feel like now I have to be a bit more serious, hence the outfit. Taking myself a bit more seriously, taking life a bit more seriously, and realizing, okay, yeah, the 20s are gone. You had the time to just be a kid, I guess, and now you have to be an adult.
Yeah, I would look back at, I was a kid until like probably far too long. Not because I was just like stupid or juvenile, or I just don't think I got my shit together enough because I didn't think I was able to. And then looking back, it's like, of course you were fucking able to. So it's actually an exciting thing. I think any birthday milestone, firstly, you're alive. Yes. That's an absolute gift. And it really is something to cherish every day. But yeah, you're so right. Like, I'm looking back now thinking, shit, even my 30s were actually terrible. Sorry, this is not about me. This is
when did you have your hallelujah moment of I need to get my things together?
3 months ago. No, like, Simphiwe, this is about you. It's not about me. Happy birthday. I hope it's a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah, my friends want me to celebrate. I doubt I will, but we'll do something this weekend. What are you going to get up to this weekend?
I was so excited for this weekend, and then it seems like the rain has fucked it.
Oh, I'm so happy about the rain.
Well,
it gives me an excuse to be indoors. To be guys, I can't celebrate. It's raining. Let's stay home.
I had big plans this weekend, actually, milestone stuff. No, I was going to play golf with Dimitri.
Okay.
Our 101 guy. And then it's been pissing with rain since forever. Oh, no. And then, like, so we had on the Bounce show this week, Let's get the plug straight in there.
There we go.
We had an entire show around sporting fashion and stuff.
Yes.
And our guest was phenomenal.
I actually enjoyed her. I watched
Honorable
the
She
show.
was so great. And it was all about like, guys, never wear skinny jeans. Try this, try that. And like this weekend, I literally wanted to become an adult and have a good hard look at my wardrobe. Like I'm very minimalist. I don't hoard. But she just, you know what, every now and again you meet people at certain times of your life, you think, okay, I want to re-look a certain facet of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do that this weekend. And even to the point that I wanted to go to some like, I don't know, like I want to get a different hairstyle. Maybe it's time in my life I try something. My options are 0 and fuck all, but I mean, I'm going to try roll the dice on
Please
both
don't
of those.
dye your hair.
No, I'm not dye my hair. No, I'm not dye my hair. But I'm gonna go speak to I don't know, like a real hair professional.
Okay.
That was my plan this weekend.
And they're
was to
gonna
get
give you a
hairstyle.
professional cut, and they're gonna,
I don't know,
do the things.
Swap options, because like with my remaining strands, I want to see what they can do.
Okay.
I have the most boring weekend ahead, basically.
It sounds dope. It sounds like an adult thing to do. I have to admit, I enjoyed your guest on the bounce this week. I love the fact when she was anti-men wearing sports shirts
Yeah, that was a good
on a date.
Yeah.
That's my girl now. Like, we are best friends because why are you wearing that? It's a date.
I just love the way that she summed it up. It's like, we make the effort, we got all these kind of things, and you just rock up. It shows that you don't care.
But if you haven't watched it, make sure you do give OTB, which is on the Bounce A Watch on YouTube right here on the Real Network.
Yes.
Since we're talking about sports, what are your
Yes.
thoughts on the Springboks now having a new sponsor?
On the back, I think it's horrendous. I think it's absolutely terrible. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, ha, 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 April Fools. And I realized, like, oh, it's not April. It is so shit. It's so tacky.
Wait, what? Everyone's like rejoicing. You'd like
Everyone's like rejoicing. Who is your everyone?
The people I've seen on TikTok.
I've heard nothing but nonsense. Oh, everyone's 11 on there. I've heard you're talking about the Pick and Pay sponsor.
Yes.
On the back.
Yes.
It's a national sports jersey of pride and honor, and now we have basically. It's cuck. It's cock. You can take me apart in the comments, but that massive Pick and Pay on the back of the Springbok jersey is shit. And I'm just, I've got no personal bad feelings around Pick and Pay. I just think that sponsorship looks terrible because it's so big. And then on they had an example of the Sevens jersey, right?
Yes.
So then they got the player's name. The player's name is smaller than Pick and Pay. I don't think it's a really good brand. I don't think it's the right fit. Okay. Because again, the Springboks have been talking so much about this massive equity deal they're going to do to get international, because they're an international brand.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got Pick and Pay, who, let's be honest, are in some financial doo-doo right now.
I mean, they had money for Rick Ross and that ad.
Look how cuck that looks, guys. If we're totally honest, that is I'm playing Cape Town 10s this weekend with my Chinas. We're going to get hammered, and his dad's manufacturing business has got the sponsorship on the back. That's what it looks like.
So wait, are you more upset at the placement of the Pick and Pay brand, or are you like, no, this is a horrible partnership? I don't think we should have even.
So primarily it's the placement, absolutely. Because like I said, I've got nothing against Pick and Pay.
Okay.
I used to shop there, but then they became crap, and I mostly shop at Checkers and Woolworths. But I just don't think it's a good fit, because the aesthetic aside, which is terrible, the Bok jersey must be something very aspirational.
Yes.
It should be our iconic kind of look, right?
Yes.
Think Bentley more than Bajaj. And what we've got now is it's just cuck. It's just cuck. There's too many sponsorships going around in these things. Franchise teams, go ahead. The green and gold,
okay.
Do me a favor.
Okay.
Also, where Pick and Pay, where are you getting the money for this?
I don't know, but maybe this is how they're going to try bring in some money.
This is like one of those South Africa's going to sponsor Tottenham things, because no. And then what? Are they going to start selling these jerseys at Pick and Pay clothing stores? Is that the big play?
I think so. And then people are going to start buying it, and then because they have Pick and Pay clothing, and I think Pick and Pay clothing,
cut price, something for the masses, wonderful thing, brilliant.
So that's how I think they're going to be making some revenue, and but Pick and Pay in terms of the food retail outlets, that one is just going shikukukuku. It's going down the hills. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah.
See, look at the comments, Simphiwe. You spend 3 seconds on TikTok and you think you've got the You got the
This
pulse
is
of the
why I
people out
asked you,
there.
Ben, because I
Yeah.
can't trust everything I see on the net.
No, exactly.
And I had to make sure I get an expert opinion on this. And now I'm swayed. I agree with you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, these kind of things piss me off because I think certain things should be held sacred in this world.
Okay.
Because a lot aren't, and we flout all these kind of things, but it's just cuck.
Okay.
It's just cuck, and happy that FNB is the front of the shirt because again, it's a good legacy play, right? They've been involved with the box for a long time.
It changed from MTN to FNB, right?
Yeah, MTN picked it up when the box weren't very good.
Okay.
So there was this tiny little blip where the box actually really couldn't find a sponsor. They were that shite. Blue Label Telecoms came in for a season, and then MTN, as they said in the advertising campaign, they answered the call. I tell you what, it was a call. This is, like we forget how these things turn in life. The box used to be the 7th best team in the world. Nobody wanted to host their games. Very few wanted to really make an effort to watch them. And MTN pulled in and it got them back on a trajectory. Now, if, I don't know, Corbus's cash and carry came in with the sneaky little, we've got 8 million and you need a sponsor, it wouldn't have helped the box. It's a prestige thing. It's a legacy thing. So you need certain brands that are on the same sort of path. And I just don't see that with the sponsorship. So that's
okay.
That's top of my head thoughts, Superior. I mean, if you really want, I can get into it.
No, that's fine. I think I understand, and I agree with you now. You were able to sway me.
I also think the Pick and Pay Rick Ross ad was cuck. It was like
all it do is win,
guys,
no
we
matter
are like,
what.
we are like
money,
2 years too late on this theme of things. It's like we're trying to make a bad Castle Light advert and somehow rope in Sculptores as well.
Yeah, the issue was
the
issue was that I think they had gotten like a hip hop DJ, and they gave him the brief, and he was like, "Don't worry, the people love this song. I play it every year or every time I go out and play a hip hop set." And the reality is, a lot of people are just over that song. Hip hop DJs, please play new hip hop stuff because all I do is win, no matter what. Is old
no, it
now.
was
it's old.
It was cuck. I think all the advertisers been cuck.
Yeah.
That whole fresh thing that they played over and over. Ironically, they don't actually have the fresh stuff either. Happy Friday, everybody! Happy Friday.
Yeah, that's how.
Sorry, I forgot, James. I got those electrolytes for you. Just came to. So I've started you out relatively cheap. I don't want to spoil you. Yeah, can I throw these to you now because I just it rolled around in my.
What kind of drug deals taking place?
Every morning, just take a tab, put it in water, start your day like that. Because James starts his day like every other misspent youth, with a Red Bull, or he just mainlines bad ideas. So I'm trying to get him on the electrolytes to ease him into it.
Okay, that's good.
I just want James to be the best guy, so when people say I want to marry you, he's in the conversation.
Love it for you. Love it. Okay, well, since we're talking about good habits and starting, great things. So no, is it Selena Gomez, her boyfriend?
Yes.
Apparently, he's up to some very disgusting things.
So, I do not have a window to celebrity culture outside of this show.
Okay.
So I relish these moments. So she is married or engaged or
dating. I know for a fact she's with this guy. Benny something.
They're obviously both train wrecks, okay? But now this oak, he said you don't have to shower every day. As in, he doesn't shower every day.
Is he white? Is he a white man?
He is a white man.
In America.
Not sure the relevance of that, but...
Because there's been quite a few podcasts. It also seems like an American thing.
A white bro is not showering.
No, yes, but there's quite a few podcasts where a lot of the Caucasians that side in America have gone on podcasts and said, no, I don't wash my legs when I shower, or I don't think that I should use a washcloth when I shower. And then everybody is just like, wait, what do you mean? How do you even shower? And then some will be like, oh yeah, the soap will just run down, so that's a shower.
Magically, and just do everything, even in the middle bits.
Yeah, and then there was one point where I had to ask the guys in the office, do you guys actually use...
And James was the first person you asked.
Do you use a washcloth?
I remember
Do you know the various things to use for your body, like a scrub and all these things? Is it a loofah, that thing? And I noticed that it might be an American thing because the white guys, black guys, colored, Caucasian, Indian, everybody here in the office, they actually wash.
You gotta wash, yeah. So this dude, he doesn't every single day, and then he's like, "Yeah, you know what? These dirty people always fall back on. They fall back on this, but your body's got essential oils, and if you wash too much, then you wash away your bullshit. You've got essential BO, basically. No. So this dude, is his name Benny Blanco?
Yes.
So he then uploads, because that's what these celebrities do, obviously. He then uploads his shower/bath scene. There's a video, and it is troubling. Sure, I'm sitting down. It is so troubling because in the video he pans around. Okay, there is Popeye's chicken, as in he's going into this area eating.
Wait, what? In the bathroom?
Fried chicken. Yes.
What is food doing in the bathroom?
He's in water in a bath by the looks of things.
It's worse than what I thought, Ben.
And then there's fried chicken on the edge. Fried chicken.
And so as the water is just running down his body, he's chewing away.
He's just eating the spices and the oil, and there's his essential oils. But have you ever heard of anything more grotesque?
That's disgusting. Like you're not getting a bath. Like a bath is supposed to clean you and refresh you, and you're just adding oils.
So further to the story, Simphiwe, as you know, I always get to the bottom of these things. Now, Selena's fan club is horrified by this and is urging her not to marry him. Imagine how shit your life is. You try to tell celebrities what to do, but they are coming out in their droves. I don't know how much of a drove that is, but they are now, you can't marry this guy. And I actually agree with them.
Yeah, because then he's going to basically share that bad habit with her.
Well,
and then she's going to pick it up.
You've got fried chicken in a bathroom. That's the first step here.
Biggest red flag ever. But I'm just saying, like, you stick with someone long enough, you pick up their bad habits. Like, for her, it's going to become the norm.
So maybe she's dirty, and that's why he's like, my previous girlfriend, I washed every single day and I ate in the kitchen. Now he's like,
I don't need to wash every day.
With Selena. This is why I date Mexican chicks. Now, maybe she's creating that environment.
No, I doubt it. I think homeboy in general is just a problem, because I saw this week that he gets his toenails done. And betunana. James, can you just bring up some of the pictures that I said? And he has eyes on his toenails with the lashes.
No, I wasn't ready for that in my life.
And that's not the worst things that he's done. Yeah, these are his toes. He has
really?
A nail artist, and she's basically posted all the artwork that she's done on his toenails. That's pepperoni or something, I think, that goes on the pizza. He loves food, as we can tell, because
no, but come on, that just looks rotten, like he's dead.
Yeah, so I guess he's much more worse than what I could have imagined. Like, that's sushi on your toenails.
Cirque needs sports. Like, he needs something in his life that is. This has taken.
That's a rug.
This has taken the wind out of my sails this morning. It really has.
So I think all around we can agree that this guy is just kind of into off about him. Like, he doesn't shower every day, and now his toenails are looking. And if his toenails look like that, I don't want to see the rest of his body.
Okay,
and other body parts.
Hate all of it, but if he's rocking a bit of a Middle Eastern voyage with some Jesus sandals, those toenails at the end there, it's quite a play. Oh, there! Look at him.
Ew.
He's got a whole bowl of Chinese things.
No, this guy.
Oh, look! There's the chicken.
Oh, that looks like a bathtub.
Yes, this is a bath. No. Yeah, there's the chicken.
It's even worse. Yeah, no,
yeah, look at him.
Looks creepy.
Looks like Selena eats the chicken too, though. But he looks like a young drug dealer, Jeremy Clarkson. So that's an awkward look to kind of ensemble to yourself.
Yo.
Maybe you should start reading the comments. Gareth's quite good at that.
Okay, cool. We have Carl over here saying, "Don't know who this guy is." Wait, sorry, I can't see that far. There we go. I'll read
Do you
it.
want me to read it? Are you that old now?
Yes, I am. My eyes are not working as good anymore.
What Carl says is that he didn't know who this Blanco cat was until like 3 weeks ago, but it turns out he's actually a musical genius. He's produced a lot of music, filthy fuck, but really talented.
Yeah, he's won a couple of Grammys, I think. He's a producer of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to know him like that. We don't need to be on a first name basis with the oak, but he's very disgusting.
Yeah, but sometimes when you are a genius, you lack in other areas so much, but then you also see the world differently. And he's not seeing function; he's just seeing him.
Yeah.
But shower, guys. I mean, don't think you're Benny Blanco. Wash daily.
Every day.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah, enjoy the process. But like you see, now we're talking about dating and him not washing. I don't know if you've seen. There's like been this phenomenon on like the internet about the broke boyfriend hug.
Oh wow! I'll carry on.
Do you want to take a guess on what that is?
Because this goes well or badly. I'm never in the middle of this.
Want to take a guess on what that is, and maybe the psyche behind the broke boyfriend hug.
The broke boyfriend. Oh, sorry. I thought you said bro boyfriend.
No, broke.
Oh, the broke boyfriend hug.
Mm-hmm.
Jeepers, Simphiwe, you really are shaking the hornet's nest here. I don't know. I don't know where to start with that. Is that when you don't hug too hard because you're not into it?
No. So this refers to guys that are in a relationship and they are broke.
Heterosexual relationships, right?
Yeah, mostly. They are broke, and then when they go out with their partner, she would be the one that pays, right? And then as she's paying at the restaurants or usually at the retail stores, he will then hug her from behind and give her like this hug, and they call that the broke boyfriend hug.
Oh wow!
Yes,
I had no idea.
Right? So it's a thing. It's a thing. Like people are like, I've seen this, and now someone has come out to say, what's the psyche behind that? That is the broke boyfriend hug.
That is
as
so
you're paying
funny.
for something, Miguel, then your boy wants to hug you and love up on you,
and all them broke kings come from behind.
Right? And apparently the psychology behind this is that they want to kind of protect the partner from kind of being spotted by other guys, that she's the one paying. So it's kind of like an insecurity thing, like really it's an insecurity thing. And so also to like kind of reassure her that, I love you, babe, thank you so much, it's such a great moment.
You've got my back, I got yours, basically. Yes. But I can only afford to physically get it.
Yes. Imagine in this day and age. But basically that's what it is.
That is so sad. It really is. I've never worked that out, like why girls are ever with people who are broke, but that's another like conversation altogether.
Yeah, same here. I've never done that to myself, so I don't understand, what it is about the guy. Like maybe like there are amazing guys. I know on
like
the Let's Talk Man
giant
podcast.
Cock. Maybe he's got some sort of like some game where he's about to become rich. Like you've heard all those stories before, and sometimes that's enough for a girl.
Yeah, but also like the Let's Talk Man podcast, which is a doctor show that we have on here. One of the coming up episodes, they interview a doctor that's unemployed, right? And he talks.
Is he a doctor then?
He is. He is a doctor. He graduated. But like in that case, even I was looking at him. I'm like, you're a doctor. I'm sure. Like I could. Like if you look my way, I would entertain you, even though you're unemployed.
Just for reference, if you're only listening to this show,
for now,
the guys in the photos just now weren't doctors.
Yeah,
I can tell you that much.
So that's the thing, like so for now, I could talk to you. Maybe have a talking stage in your unemployed state, and then when you have a job, let's get serious.
Yeah, on face value, look at that and you go, yeah, how can you get girls if you're broke? Blah blah blah. I was listening to this thing the other day because I try to listen to things that aren't sports involved, aren't fitness involved, or aren't, and it's difficult. So I try to push the boat out.
Okay.
I got into some podcast where this guy was wearing a tie-dye shirt, but he came well recommended. And he was saying, like, some guys worry about all the wrong things when it comes to attracting a partner.
Mm-hmm.
But if their frequency is consistent, then they have a lot more sort of success.
Yes.
So, and then it got me thinking about this whole thing about frequency. You know, you obviously emit a lot in your personality, right? Like
Yes.
whenever I see you, for example, you emit like happiness.
Mhm.
It's like your frequency is very consistent in that if I talk to you, we're probably going to laugh about something in about 23 seconds. Not because like we're funny inherently, although we are, but you just have an ability to emit that.
Yes.
And then I was thinking about this, like, what if broke guys are like, yeah, this is just me. This is kind of what I got going right now, but like, so be it. When people become okay with something, become who they are, then their frequency is just so compelling and consistent. That's how they become attractive. Rather than going, like, I started the show talking about getting a hairstyle. How fucking lame was that? Or, you know, I've got a hugely mixed frequency then because I'm happy here, but I'm also sad there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I know that being employed or your economic status does not really factor who you are as a person, right? You're not your job, and your job shouldn't become your personality,
Yeah,
right?
but your economic status
then,
does, though.
but yeah, but at the end of the day, you have these CEOs or people that are like, you know, I'm the MD and what, and then that becomes his entire personality. And you're like, no, I want to get to know you. Like, do you
Shit,
enjoy sports? Do
the
you
shit
enjoy this?
frequency.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think when guys are broke, as you said, with the whole frequency thing, their personality shines, you know, through and through. And you're like, oh, you're actually a really decent person. I don't mind being in the mud with you in this season of your life. I think, I guess. And
Wow,
hey, I don't
that's
mind
what I
paying for
thought.
certain things or being the one who's the breadwinner in the relationship because you're so awesome, you're so wholesome. Maybe, you know, he was washing the dishes and cleaning the house when I'm at work, and that's my way to say thank you. I don't know, but those
No, but
relationships
you make so many good points there.
are not
It's
for
like,
me.
got it, okay.
Yes.
But those people still have like appeal. They still have value,
Yes.
which is great.
And also, like as I
Not to be
said,
aimed for.
I mean,
Obviously.
if you're unemployed doctor, there's still something about a doctor. But if you're just an unemployed gent, like you have no aspirations to do better, or you're just trying to hustle because that's the new thing now, people are just always hustling, then I think that's an issue.
I think you should never ever admit to hustling. It's so sad. It's like, what can you do? Not have like one plan, a path, likes, interests. You're just basically hustling. Who see? This is what happens when you bring Rick Ross into fucking Pick and Pay adverts. That
Every
culture,
day I'm hustling.
that culture becomes so ingrained that people then think like this is the thing to talk about. Okay, so Durban Dope says, I told my girlfriend I wasn't on the market as I was on my folks' couch at the time, and 4 years later we're living together and good.
Yo, are you living at her house?
But wait, hang on a second, we need more here.
What's
So,
going on there?
has she blanked you for 3 years and you've finally come good in this fourth year, or was it very much from folks' couch that it was game on?
Yo, like what's going on? I don't want to judge you. I won't be in your business.
No, I just need a
I
few
don't
more
want to
details.
judge
But
you.
I think what he's saying there is that he was like, I don't have money, I'm not gonna make this work. And she's like, well, I like you for what you are.
Yes, but I want to end up. How did they end up living together? Like, did he eventually get a job, or you staying with her? That's what I. But I don't want to be in your business now, because then I'm gonna judge
See,
you once I know the full
I mean, his
story.
profile's Durban Dope with no photo, so
No, we've been
no,
together from
from day one. And she didn't. There we go. There's the explanation I needed. Thanks, Durban Dope. I love how love finds a way on this show. It
I love
always
it for
finds a
you.
way.
I love, but you know, since we're talking about love, right? Imagine if some of our brands, South African brands, were
Going
on
back to Pick
Tinder.
and Pay here. I'll swipe Pick and Pay.
Swipe left, right. Where you know,
Whatever's the no, thank you. Left.
so here are some of our favorite brands. If they were on Tinder, would you swipe left or right on them? After giving this description. So Uber Eats, it says about me, you'll hate me, but you'll always come back. I'll overcharge you, arrive late, and might forget half your order. But let's be honest, you're too hungry to care. Swipe right if you enjoy chaos and cold fries.
No, that's just a booty call.
Oh, hectic.
Uber Eats is just a booty call, and it will only lead in drama and sadness.
So you're clearly swiping left. Next, let's see another brand. This is Capitec. Looking for someone who doesn't mind waiting. Okay, about Capitec. I'm simple, I'm affordable, and I will make you wait in the longest queue of your life. No frills, no drama, just you, me, and 45 people ahead of you at that ATM. Swipe right if patience is your love language.
Yeah, Capitec's the kind of girl that your parents say, that's probably the girl you should be going for. Or like you've just been burnt in a previous relationship and you just want to put bat on ball again.
Damn it. It's a left. Okay, on to the next one. SAA.
Stealing all your money. Trouble,
it says
this
looking for someone who likes a turbulent relationship. All right. Here is about SAA. They say, I'm here, then I'm gone, then I'm here again. I'll promise you great things, but we both know I'm one bad quarter away from disappearing again. Swipe right if you love financial instability. And
yeah, from my perspective, SAA was a girl on massive antidepressant medication. Probably was super hot back in high school and always thinks that the first team rugby jock's going to come eventually save her.
Damn, that's another left. Okay, I thought one of these brands would have caught your eyes. Okay, on to the next one. Let's see. Nando's, come on. Looking for someone to bring back the heat. You gotta love Nando's. Freshly single after 10 years, used to be the hottest thing in town. Now just trying to find that flame again. Not afraid of a little spice, but I do enjoy a bit of cheeky banter. Swipe right if you can handle the burn. Come on.
Yeah.
This is a swipe right. Come on.
Yeah, look, probably best so far.
Okay.
But also maybe like funny in groups, but not funny when you go away together.
I doubt it. I think,
as you can see, a mystery that I'm single, an absolute mystery.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think Nando's would be the ultimate partner. They get the they know how to be sarcastic at the right time. They know how to, be playful, but also serious sometimes. I think the only issue here might be that they might always think whatever we're talking about, whatever we go through is always a joke. But I think, if I'm not laughing, then what are we doing in this relationship?
That's a very good point. Okay, so we've got one taker so far.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we're swiping right for Nando's. Hey, SAA Post Office is looking for someone who loves disappointment. Okay. I lose things for a living. I make queuing a personality trait. My tracking system is just vibes, and my customer service is non-existent. Swipe right if you love frustration, missing mail, and disappointment.
Yeah, missing mail being zero father figure in this one, zero family, anything. Just basically a broken wretch of a potential partner.
In the words of Beyonce, to the left, everything you own, and that's to the left.
Sad stories, misery, and you must pay.
I think we have one last one for you. Woolworths. I don't think Pick and Pay made it here. Hey, Woolworths is looking for someone with expensive taste. Okay, tall, dark, expensive. Your mom loves me, but your wallet doesn't. If you think you can handle a high maintenance partner who looks good on the outside but hurts a little on payday, we might just work.
Yeah,
this is my kind of person.
Yeah,
yes,
look,
right.
You all factor that into like cost of company on that one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's that. You have my heart. You have my heart. The food, the clothing, the crockery. Oh my gosh, I can be a Woolies baby all day, every day.
See, when in that dating sense, you can take all the bullshit and you can be critical, but ultimately quality is the bottom line. So there's something there, right?
Yes, and when
it's going to last.
Yes,
as in like there's longevity.
Yes, I can brag about like being with Woolworths and going into Woolworths. It's always clean. The trolleys are working all the time. Yes. Yeah, hey, there's some trolleys there, but Betunana, woo, they need to be replaced.
Is that because the Woolworths trolley doesn't go all the way to the car?
But even when it does, the guards that are there, they'll take your trolley from your car. Like the service, Woolworths, guys, is chef's kiss. It's just amazing. Eskom is there. It's made it ish. Okay, man. Looking for someone who can handle Uncertainty. That doesn't sound nice. Okay. I'll light up your world sometimes. I'm emotionally unavailable and full of empty promises. 1 minute I'm there, the next I'm completely gone. Swipe right if you love unpredictability and power struggles. Mm, mm. Left now. Can't handle you. Let's go.
Yeah. Also lives in Witbank.
That's a problem, ne?
I feel as a premise, this is quite funny, but there's a couple of lacking things about that slide. It needs to be more personified. I think.
About Eskom.
All of them. Okay, so basically what you're saying is we're dating Nando's.
That's it. Oh, and Woolworths. I'm a Woolies girl. You can have Nando's. And I think that's a good bargain. Everybody else to the left, to the left. Everything you own in the back to the left. Oh, okay, Ben, you are definitely someone's frequency.
Wow. You're gonna need more than that, huh?
She would swipe right for you.
Swipe for me. Yeah, it'd be a good call as well. What else did I say? I back myself. I think I have much to offer.
You are the prize,
no,
king. You are the
totally.
prize. Okay.
In the right setting, I'm delightful. Thanks, James.
Okay, and talking about prizes, I've seen that Bafana Bafana is doing really great.
So well, yeah.
I think they've had like a couple of wins. In fact, they've been winning the past couple of games.
So many, yeah. I mean, look, they've got this really good unbeaten stretch happening right now, which is basically defining the Hugo Broos era.
How many games have they won?
Well, the unbeaten is what we're going for here. They've obviously had some draws. I think that's about 18 now when no one's beaten them. And it's great because this is how you build a culture. You don't suddenly, we do well, and the next week, we weren't in it. Like this week, for example, they went and played Benin away, and they won 2-0. Nice. You know, because they had Lesotho, which, as we know, small country no one knows about. They beat them in Polokwane 2-0. You expect that kind of stuff. But then they went away and they hard grafted another 2-0 win. So they're currently 5 points clear on the top of their World Cup qualifying thing. They've got 4 games left. So we're looking good. We're looking good to get to the World Cup. We've only been to the World Cup 3 occasions before this.
Okay.
So, I mean...
And the one time was when we hosted
it. So we didn't actually have to do anything with that.
Okay.
But we've never made it out of the group stage. This is the more inflated World Cup that we're going into. So there's more teams. And that'll be in Mexico, America, and Canada for 2026. Yeah, like it's a very exciting time. Going back again to the Springboks and old financial terms, that a rising tide will rise all ships. This is what the thing is, you know. I think like Bafana and all these teams, they look around and go, look what the Springboks do for culture. Look how excited they make people. And now we're getting that same excitement. Nobody would go to the stadiums before, you know. Polokwane was sold out. Sold out for the Lesotho game.
That's the truth.
Be a winner. We said it on the show many, many times.
Yes.
Be a winner. Everything good happens from there.
Okay. But let's get into sports then. What else is happening?
Tell you what, not much this weekend, Hester. It's not one of those great sporting weekends. Apart from my golf getting fucked up today because of the rain, there is local golf, Sunshine Tour. At the end of every season, there's like a tour championship kind of thing where the best players get in and like select field. So that's happening at Blair Athol currently for the Kura Guy DNI Tour Championships. JC Ritchie's leading that one. And then the women's at Royal Johannesburg for the Absa Ladies Invitational. Carmen Alonso and Cassandra Alexander, they're leading there. Weather permitting. 2 weeks' time is the Masters.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's as good as it gets.
Okay.
It's the tournament. Tiger obviously won't be playing because he's in his 75th injury / 8th blonde wife.
Question. When do golf players retire? What's like the retirement age?
They don't.
Oh.
Competitively, it depends. Like, if you were sort of middle to good kind of pro, you like the seniors tour and you carry on. Internationally, of course, that's the thing. You play into your 50s. If you're like a high octane kind of guy who made lots of cash and got lots of injuries, you just think, well, why am I bothering?
Okay.
But for golfers, I mean, I'm going to play golf until I cannot walk.
Oh.
Which will be obviously, I mean, I'm going to walk all the time. But forever.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a bit of a bland weekend. There will be IPL if you're into that.
Okay.
It's so hard to talk about the IPL in like a reports sort of sense because This team with far too many words in their name is playing this team with like stupid names, and then the numbers. If you're into cricket, you don't even need to tell you the IPL's on this weekend. And also, it's like so early days. I can't even tell you what's happening in the log because it's just early days. The PSL is back.
Okay.
So obviously, with international break, we had World Cup qualifiers. The European teams also World Cup qualifiers, and that UEFA Nations League thingy.
Okay.
But yeah, this weekend there's going to be games of a Saturday and Sunday. Pick of the bunch there for Saturday is Golden Arrows versus the Chiefs. That'll be at 3:30, and then on Sunday, SuperSport United versus Cape Town City will be at 5:45. So there'll be 6 games in total. The Premier League actually comes back on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
The April Fools. So James's team, Liverpool, are currently sweating on a lead that they're probably going to relinquish. They've lost. They're out of the Champions League. They lost the Carabao Cup. Trent Alexander-Arnold is finally going somewhere else. It's going from bad to worse, as James says.
Ew.
But that'll be from Tuesday onwards. So Premier League is back. That's very, very exciting. There is rugby, the URC weekend. So last week I was at Loftus, and the Bulls beat Leinster by 1 point.
Okay.
Huge win there. I mean, it's never going to be Leinster's finest, strongest teams that come out to SA because their seasons are so long. They just come out of the Six Nations. They basically have most of the Irish team. So then they do kind of send a weaker side, but they're still just so good. So the Sharks will be playing them this weekend. That's like a real, real massive game. And the Sharks need to win this because they're kind of looking like they're going to lock up the top 4 spot. A top 4 spot gets you a home quarter, which is obviously hugely important. So they'll be taking on Leinster Saturday, primetime game there, 7:15. Tonight, Ulster will be taking on Stormers, who are back in the top 8 picture.
Okay.
That'll be at 9:35. And then the Bulls will be taking on Zebre, who are Italian but not very good. That'll be at 2:45. If you're in the area at Loftus, it's a great day out. It really is. I can only recommend it.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Have you had bad Loftus experiences?
No, I haven't. I just.
If your friends are telling you, see, there we go. There's the log right there. Leinster runaway favourites to win this thing. And then the Glasgow Warriors are doing bloody well as well. So Bulls, Sharks, then your top 4. Stormers, because Stormers have been mostly shite this whole season, as you can see, that they've lost 7 games. All they can be is like a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball to the other teams to give the Bulls and the Sharks the best chance of getting further in the playoffs. That's my synopsis on that one. Yeah, and the Lions are also playing this weekend. They're away to Glasgow. Lions kind of fallen away a bit. I wish there was more.
That's it.
It's pretty much it, guys. It's a lean sporting weekend, which gives you the chance to actually go and play sports or go gym.
Yes.
Take your kid out and throw a ball around.
Yes.
Every now and again, we have the lull weekends. Like there's no Formula One, but it's back next week for Japan. Huge drama because Red Bull have already binned Liam Dawson, the Kiwi. Just not good enough, unfortunately. But 2 races, he was given all of 2 races. This is worse than that time when they pulled Marnie off after like half an hour because it started raining, and they needed a Pollard on. So Yuki Tsunoda, who I tell you what, he's a bag of tricks. He's not like he's a go-to for points. They've thrust him into the hot seat next to Max, and yeah, Red Bull have got 2 teams. They've got the Racing Bulls team, and then they've got the main team, and maybe they're going to run a squad system.
Okay.
But ultimately, like Max needs a partner. Someone else needs to score points outside of him because McLaren is so damn strong. You've got Wham reincarnated, Oscar Piastri, and Lando Norris. They're damn good. Mercedes are going to be good this season. Ferrari are going to be funny this season. We've been saying it since the beginning. Best Formula One season. If this is the season to get into Formula One, this is the season. It's going to be so fun. Dirk says, "Can I ask if anyone actually watches the Live Golf Tour? Insanely expensive players with almost no people watching." Yeah, Dirk, I think there's a massive draw to Live in its own way.
Okay.
And the crowds are getting better. If you saw the last few events, Singapore, Hong Kong, I think they were in Perth, or Adelaide, sorry, the crowds weren't bad. And I think they're going to...
What's not bad? What's like the capacity?
Okay, so in 2 weeks' time at the Masters, you'll see a huge crowd. The majors are ridiculous. The Masters in particular, massive. The capacity will be probably, like, I don't know, 50, 60,000 people can get onto a golf course, perhaps.
Sure.
Could be wrong. But you know, you want like holes to be lined with people.
Mm.
If there's like 10 people watching around the green, embarrassing. Like I spoke earlier about the local events.
Okay.
Those will not have crowds. They will have family members and friends and people who maybe live in the area. So
And that's it.
20 people tops, okay?
Yeah.
Which is a shame because those players deserve more. But the live events, everyone who I've spoken to has gone to a live event
Mm-hmm.
have said it's one of their best sporting experiences. Not just golf, one of the best sporting experiences.
Okay.
Because it's catered for that, right? So they make it very exciting. There's stadium halls, they've got DJs, they're making it what they want it to be for their own way of golf.
Hmm.
And but Dirk, I think that a bigger talking point here with Liv is that reports are that Bryson DeChambeau, who was given I think $250 million to go and join Liv,
Oh, hectic.
yeah, he got like fuck you money to go and play this thing. He wants to now get the same deal for another 3 years, and they kind of like going, no.
It was a one-time offer.
And the thing is, what these guys are hoping at the PIF, the Saudi money,
Mhm.
they're probably hoping that, cool, now we got you here, now you want to be here. And unfortunately, this is the problem when you have money and nothing else. People don't actually like you. They need you, they like your money, but they don't like you. So maybe he goes back to the PGA Tour and plays select events. But they're not going to give him another 220, 30, 40 million dollars.
Yeah, that's not happening.
They're not giving Dustin Johnson that money again. They're not giving Phil Mickelson that money again. So now they're going to rely on people wanting to be with your product. And then to Dirk's point, if the product's not good enough, it's just pick and pay.
That's very, very sad. Very sad. But on to other news. What are you watching? Ben, you know?
I don't know. So I don't watch TV shows anymore here.
Okay.
Like nothing. But
why not?
But this last week I thought I've got to watch something because I need to try and broaden my mind towards stuff. Like
Sure.
I said, I spoke about the tie-dye podcast.
Yes.
So I watched season 3 of White Lotus.
Okay.
Fuck, depressing as all hell. Okay, I haven't watched I've watched 5 episodes. I'm 5 episodes in. Whatever's currently on the catch up. But it's
so you haven't watched season 1 and season 2?
I have.
Oh.
Well, I watched season 1 all the way through and I kind of brushed through season 2.
Okay.
It's a bit repetitive for me.
Okay.
But you watch it because like I've been to Thailand a few times. This is where the third one is set.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the way that the whole series is shot.
Okay.
It is so beautiful, and how they create suspense. Like visually, I end up watching these things purely from like a filmmaker's perspective.
Oh. Okay.
But then I was thinking about how depressing the show is, and it reminded me of Black Mirror because they show people's biggest fears, and then they let them sort of percolate in this sort of ensemble plot. So you've not seen this?
White Lotus? No, I have not.
Any of them?
0.
Okay.
0.
Well, look, I don't want to give the plot away too much because people watch these things and obviously care.
But what's the premise of the show?
So they bring people together to a resort.
Okay.
And then they stay at a resort and then shit happens with these people.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like the most elaborate, sexily shot murder mystery show. It's the only way I can really describe it. But these people always come together. Okay, firstly, they're always rich and nefarious, basically.
What
so
is
why?
up with rich people getting up to?
Because they get bored and therefore they got to do weird shit.
There is a movie recently, I think came out last year. It's along these lines. Forgot the name of it. It has Channing Tatum in it, and basically it's about him. He's like this billionaire guy, and he hosts these parties on this island. And basically they're saying that this could be like what Epstein got up to with the people when he went to the island. And it's always the rich folks doing nonsense.
It's because they've done everything else. We've got to be empathetic towards rich creeps. They've done everything else. From a human perspective, all they can do after that is debauchery things.
Hey,
or they can just be nice people. But I mean, obviously, we're going to side with what the flaws here. So White Lotus, the whole thing is that it's a luxury chain of hotels and resorts in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these people come together and they stay at this place and all kinds of weird shit happens.
Mm.
But when I watch that, it's like, you look at the personalities and it's really depressing. So in season 3, you've got these kind of over-the-hill women who are in their 40s who are trying to hang on to their youth a little bit, therefore they're having a bit of a jolt. You've got this family where this dad is involved in all kinds of nonsense and his world is crumbling around him while he's trying to keep his family together. Okay, I mean, again, these are like common sort of things. You've got this one woman who wants to do well by her career, and she's currently there, and she's got her son to come with because she's a beauty therapist. So she's trying to, like, do more with her life. Then there's this older guy who can clearly only get young girls because he has money. That kind of thing.
Okay.
But you can see he resents that, and he's very edgy. And then you get these young girls who literally can only have lives if they're paid for by these older guys. So all these little sub stories are all very depressing in their own way, and they all play out in unison at this resort where there is some crescendo where someone basically dies. But then
because that also has to always happen. Like,
but when you watch it, you can't help but think, like,
get addicted to drugs or you die.
But when you watch it, you obviously, whenever you watch anything, right, you attach your personality to whatever's on it.
Yes.
That's why Twilight was such a massive movie, because there was so many depressed, featureless women out there.
No, I
wanting
disagree.
to find a guy.
Ben, I disagree with you on that. Okay, I had to read Twilight,
the
book. No, I had to read the book because they made it part of, like, so our school was trying to keep up with, like, whatever was trending, and to get
horrible idea for education.
To get kids to read more, the book.
What's wrong with Felix and Othello and the Cuck? I had to read in
all
school.
the kids had to read and, like, write tests about. They'll change it to whatever was, like, very topical that year, and we had to do
whatever
Twilight
comprehension.
Yeah, I had to read the book, dissect the characters, and then watch the movie afterwards. And I can tell you that, like, I fell in love. With Jacob. Like, come on now, Team Jacob.
But that was the whole thing, right? Falling in love with some mystical boy character person. Team Jacob. The world went to shit when it became Team Jacob or Team Werewolf.
No, it was Team Jacob. Okay, get this right. Team Jacob or Team Edwards. Okay, Edwards was the vampire, and then Jacob was the werewolf, and it was about this girl Bella, who a lot of people could relate to, because there was nothing special about her.
The most popular name in 4 ways, basically, from like 2001 onwards.
She was not special. She was clumsy. She was just very average.
Yes.
And like, there was nothing about her that was like, wow. But she had these 2 remarkable guys, like, fall head over heels over her basicness.
You've just proved my point. Bella is clumsy, average. She's placeholder that any girl can go, oh, I'm like her, or even I'm better than her, and she gets this.
Yeah, but then
that was the thing.
But, like, she got the attention without having to try and without having to do all these antics. Like, a lot of the times you get told that you have to put on makeup and you have to do this and you have to do that just to get the guy to look your way. And here's this girl who's just average, living her very mediocre life, and she has these 2 incredible, good-looking guys just lusting and falling in love over her. Like, of course you're gonna be like, I wish that was me. And if I was Bella, I would go with, like, I think she was an idiot to go with Edwards, but hey, that's a discussion for another day. Like, these guys were incredible. Like, you look at them, like, Edward, he was rich and he's handsome and he's cool, and they're trying to do the noble thing by not actually biting humans and drinking their blood. And then Team Jacob, they were the werewolves that were protecting the humans and making sure there's peace in the land. These guys were incredible.
Fuck, it's like Romeo and Juliet got drunk and couldn't write. But I mean, Simphiwe, we've all been to high school, right?
Yes.
Those oaks don't go for Bellas. Unless Bella's putting out, or fuck, her dad's got a yacht or some shit. Those oaks are not going near.
But it gave us hope. It gave us hope.
I know.
As I entered the real world,
fantasy's great.
Yes, but this would happen to me.
Very contrived. White Lotus is the same, basically. Not at all. It's way better. I tried to watch that first Twilight movie. I looked at this and I just thought, this is horseshit. And the world's never been the same ever since. We've become divided as a society, all because of fucking Twilight. Go back. Go through all the receipts. Pre-Twilight, PT, as I like to say, pre-Twilight, it was a better time to be a human being. After that, we all became so divisive.
No, I don't know. Maybe because I read the whole thing. Like,
I'm
all
sure
the books. Even Harry Potter, I had to read the books.
Great.
Because of school.
Yeah. Awesome. 10 points for you.
No, shout out to the school. Because I wouldn't have read those books. Yes, I wouldn't have read those books because I was like, why am I reading about this? But they were like, oh, Harry Potter's trending, so you guys are going to have to read Harry Potter. Now I know the characters, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Twilight's the same thing. And then I ended up reading all the books, and then ended up even reading more books afterwards.
Like, I'm gonna go.
So I'll give my school props for that.
Your school's the hero here, not Twilight. So I think, I mean, if you go onto YouTube nowadays, there's a video about everything.
Yes.
I think someone should do a thesis on how Twilight ruined the world, and I think it'll be a very easy kind of thing to make. If I was that way inclined and I had time, I would make this video, but I'm not. I'm busy.
Yeah, I don't think we want your take on this, Ben.
Twilight ruined the world.
No. But on that note, I disagree wholeheartedly. On that note, we are going to take a break, but we will be back. Don't worry, Gareth is coming back on Monday, so you know.
I don't think anyone's worried. Huh? Have you seen any comments so far saying I'm worried that Gareth's not there? None.
Yeah, we have a cool guest in studio. He's going to be joining us, and we're going to talk about. Quick question for you, Ben. Quick question before we. How good are you with Microsoft Excel?
Don't care.
You don't care.
I know what it does, but I'm not very good at it.
Okay. Well, there's for the people who might actually be good at it, you guys could make some money. So I'll be sharing how you could make some money after the break. And then we'll be talking to our guest, and we're going to talk about, how to make the Gareth Cliff show great again.
Yeah, I knew it would come to that eventually.
See you guys after the break.
I just saw the craziest front cover of me with Daily Sun.
The comment about Gigi Lamaine being a downgrade. So I came here to understand what that conversation was about.
Gigi Lamaine is breaking new ground. The multi-talented artist has taken a leap into the world of health by introducing her very own IV drip line.
From the Real Network studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, home of the bewildered Protea supporters and the bashful Bok fans, we bring you another episode of your favorite weekly sports show starring host called Ben and Sandile. This week we have fashion creative Lonwabo Kabangesi in studio as we are talking sports drip. That was the Shaz line, that wasn't mine. From player kits on the sports fields to what they're rocking off of it, we showcase the sports style icons of today and yesterday, sports' growing influence on fashion in general, and of course, how the guys measure up, outfit-wise, in studio each week.
And just like that, we are back for round 2. It is I, Simphiwe Mthethwa, and I have Ben Karpinski right next to me. And also joining us today is probably the biggest fan of the show, a man that flew all the way from Durban just to join us for this moment. It is the one and only, who's also told us that we need to argue more on the show. That's why. It is Mapelo. Boop, 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 boop.
Yes, that's the guy who said we must argue and fight.
And I think we're about to argue a lot.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
How's your flight?
Are you comfortable there? I think James is put that thing very close to your face.
Yeah, he did, but I think I'm fine.
Get comfy as a human and then get the microphone in there.
Yeah, I need to get comfy.
Like you're about to get a back spasm.
I actually did not sleep at all.
Hectic. Why?
It's always bad for me when I'm about to be on this show. Last time when we were in Cape Town, I was a bit
Hey,
hungover.
you don't want us to talk about your Cape Town Chronicles here. So we know you when you're not sober. Hey! And after a couple tequila shots, how you be looking?
Well, I did not sleep. I was traveling in a bus, actually. I was like, comparing prices, last minute things. So I like, let me take a bus, So
and how is that? I've heard buses are basically taxis.
No, I was traveling in a very premium bus.
Oh, excuse us.
There are levels.
Excuse
with
us, you
everything,
know.
right? Exactly.
Okay. And how is that? Like first time traveling long distance with the bus, or you've done
Mm,
this before?
No, I've done it before. Actually, for the real network, I did come here about 2 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
in a
Alright.
bus, traveled the whole night, did not sleep. But anyway,
Okay, so KZN, like whereabouts in KZN?
in Musgrave.
And that was you born and raised there, obviously.
No, I'm from the Eastern Cape, from the
Oh.
Rurals. Musgrave is just where I stay and work. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do, Mapelo, when you're not on the show? Bad mouthing us.
I do a lot of things.
else
It's
would
hard
you
for
do?
me to say I am this, but I'm a PA basically.
Okay.
I help a lot in where I work, my company. Yeah. Of course, not my company. I'm a PA, but yeah, I'm a PA basically.
Well,
Okay.
what's the company? I mean, are you shoveling perlite over the
Oh
border, or
yeah,
are you running
it's
engineering
basically
components?
the name of the company is Ethical Ways. We
Okay, so
deal
not pick and pay.
No,
we,
no.
we deal with ethics. I think maybe their network could be our client. We
Oh.
train you to be ethical.
I mean, you
ethical
did
waste.
say you
Ethical ways, not waste.
you have ways of how to make the Gareth Cliff show great again. Oh, Australia, Lapo, what's the how you plan on doing that?
Well, firstly, the context is on Wednesday.
Oh, so this is
Basically,
a James problem. Okay, James, are you listening? This is for you.
basically,
I love the fact I can just take notes now for like an hour. Carry on.
Gareth.
I'm comfy.
got on the show and he started talking about Disney, the whole show. So like, what's going on? Because the Gareth Cliff show that I know used to have impact, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And now it's
Okay.
like it's just lost the plot. So
No Disney talk. Got you.
no, I mean,
Well, you got to unpack that. You can't just give a clanger like there's no impact. What was about it? Was it the subject matter was shit? Was it repetitive?
it was just
I'm
continuous.
going to cross-examine your barbs here. Okay.
Okay, it's fine. You can do that. I don't have a problem. The thing is, it's like I got here, he was bored, and then started talking a lot of nonsense, and there was just,
And you don't like that.
no, it's fine. You can still have fun topics like Disney,
Okay.
but you must go for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then after that, but after that, I have this to talk about. Those show features.
Are you hinting that Gareth was underprepared on Wednesday?
Show features, something to look forward to every show, I mean, there is Dr. Hanan on Monday, which is fine, but what else?
Oh, what else? Okay, okay.
know? So there used to be things like headlines at this time, but
So you want structure, basically.
you see,
Well, he wants impact. I think the key
Okay.
word there is that he said he wants impact, and it was lacking. Carry on. I'm listening. I'm all ears here.
We both are, Ben. We
As
both
you know,
are.
I'm quite impartial.
yeah, of course. Yes, structure is the best way to put it.
Mhm.
And of course, some topics are shit, some topics can be, but structure, that's the basic.
Okay, there's some people in here in the comment section. They agree with you.
Yeah.
So maybe you're onto
Oh,
something.
Read him. Stop being so
What?
mysterious.
Carl is basically saying hard to argue with this guy about Wednesday's show. We have Komutso here who says I enjoyed the Disney talk. So Bitcoin Bud over here says I'll back up Mapelo. That promo from before was gak.
The what?
I don't know what promo he's talking
Yeah,
about.
there's a thing about promos.
But also Bitcoin But also says Wednesday show was good, talking about gak with Chris Forrest.
It was
So-
funny.
Mapelo, so you've left out the fact that we actually had a guest on Wednesday.
It was very funny. It was a good show.
You came here and said
but-
2 hours of Disney, get fucked. Now we revealed there was actually a good
Seems
show
like
and a guest.
Someone's also jealous over here. Congo Chris says, this is what happens when you don't let me be the commander-in-chief of the comment section. You get drunkards like Mapelo on the show to badmouth the show. Do better, James. Get me on.
Well, what do you have to say, Congo Chris? Okay, I have something to say. What do you have to say? Stop bad mouthing me.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
damn it.
This is good.
This is a fight
Okay.
between who can be on the show. I like it. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, show features, guys. Bring back show features, something to
So
look
you
forward
clearly
to.
missed the burning platform.
I
That's
mean,
what other people are
we
saying,
can
yeah?
bring something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Friday show, since you're on the Friday show?
Friday shows are very cool because they're Simphiwe. So
Thank
they are,
you.
they're always my favorite
Nice.
shows.
Nailed it.
Of course. And there is Ben, of course. I mean, what more
Basically,
can you ask
replicate Friday across the week is what I'm
for?
picking
What
up here.
can you ask for? Gareth, every time he comes here, as if
James took that one personally. He even left the studio. But I think we get it. You like Friday show, and everything else can be improved.
Simphiwe came prepared. I don't know about Gareth. Look at her with that laptop in front of her. She has things to share with us. You know what I'm saying? Gareth just comes in. Just
Talks. Okay.
Just
Well,
talks.
talking about sharing, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Ben. How good are you with Microsoft Excel?
I'm terrible. I wouldn't,
He works for ethical ways, not efficient ways.
so I wouldn't give myself a rating. I would just say terrible.
Terrible. Damn. So you guys don't qualify for this thing because there's actually a Microsoft Excel championship in Las Vegas. Can
course
you
there
believe
is.
it? And basically what they do is they get 12 finalists, the best of the best in the various like companies or who know how to work Microsoft Excel, and they are given a problem that they have to solve. And they have like 5 minutes to solve that problem. And whoever is the champion after that 5 minutes, not million, wins a $5,000 prize.
It's quite a
$5,000
I'm
dollars.
guessing this is quite a spectator sport, this.
Yeah, I think it's still fresh. It's still new. There's not a lot of hype around it. I was just shook to the core that like there's something called the Microsoft Excel Championships, and if you are good at solving, problems there with the spreadsheets and doing all of that thing, then this might be your time to shine and make some money.
That must be so fun if you're only good at that in life, right? And you fix any of these things and go, what have I done with my life? All I know is Excel spreadsheets.
I know,
And
right?
then you hear about this and you go, this is my time.
Finally.
This is my moment to shine.
can be this
solve
person now.
anything. Yeah. So there's, if you feel like you don't have a place in the world, here it is. Here's your moment to shine and do the right things. It's already bad enough that you have to carry those HP Dell laptops this thick. Now, do something with them.
Okay, so let's get back onto Mapelo basically bad-mouthing Gareth. So I watched something this week that I thought was super interesting on YouTube, where this guy did like a thesis on the downfall of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the Joe Rogan podcast and I think it's not for me anymore because it's boring, because it's repetitive.
Okay.
Harsh words.
Mhm.
Okay. But that doesn't now mean that Joe Rogan is a bad person or there's anything wrong with him or he shits at what he does. It's just that everything else is caught up to him and everything around him is just more kind of interesting, more engaging, right?
Mhm.
Because of life cycles. Joe's been doing that podcast, I think, since 2013. It's a long time. It's a very long time. Very long time to do a lot, and he does a lot.
Yes, he does.
And I also think that people then become complacent and then they get, okay, well, we know this guy back to front. We've had so much access to him. Therefore, we're kind of over it.
Mm.
So, Mapelo, do you believe, going back to what you were saying there, is that maybe you just had too much access to Gareth? Now you become too familiar with him, and therefore he doesn't rock your boats anymore. Is this where we're going with this?
No, I actually don't think so.
That's I heard.
I don't think I will ever get bored of Gareth.
Okay,
He
very
just
good.
he needs to be consistent.
Okay.
When I started listening to him, I can say a lot of things about how Gareth literally changed a lot of things about how I see the world. No, not just him. Of course, there are a lot of other things that impacted.
Well, he
my
made you think
growth.
about a few things differently.
Yes.
I think that's the key of a great broadcaster.
But now I just don't feel that. He used to have things like the letter to the president. It used to be interesting. Now he's like,
Used to make features.
he used to have features,
Okay.
But now it's everything is like, yeah, I come to the show. I'll make you laugh. I'll have guests, interesting guests. That's fine, but it's just not enough. I need to live with something every time I watch the show. That's that's what I'm used to. So now I don't get that anymore.
See, and
Okay.
the great thing about you saying this without pressure, because Gareth would tell you to get fucked. But ultimately, what you are saying there is this is the reality of having a show. This is the reality of broadcasting. And when you do become something quite big in someone's life, it's the consistency and keeping the bar raised high.
Yeah, but AJ or LJ here says Gareth is the most fun when he's angry. More rants.
He doesn't rant anymore. That's the thing.
So you guys don't like him when he's content with life and, you know, things are just going a bit smoothly. You want him to always just be the angry white man.
No. Okay, that's fine too. Whatever people want to call him. It's because the other thing I hate about what people say about Gareth is that they don't realize that they are so racist to Gareth. Because he's a white man, he can't be angry. He can't insult someone, especially politicians, black politicians. If he says something, I mean, not acceptable to other people about a politician, oh, Gareth is racist. I'm like, but that's racist. You are being racist to Gareth, because if it was someone else with a little bit of melanin, you wouldn't say he's racist. So you're being racist instead.
Yeah, it's some very unfair double standards. And I think a lot of the time he makes such great points that makes people think, but then people just try to disqualify him because of who he is.
Yeah, because of his color and because they just don't like what he's saying, maybe. You know.
And so, sometimes you don't want to hear the truth from a certain kind of person, which I think is very immature. Yeah.
And another thing I saw an article about Gareth
recently.
From News 24, of course.
Wow,
from What to Expect.
There we go.
They had a recollection of everything Gareth was ever accused of. And I'm like, what has Gareth done except stuff that he was accused of? It was just an article that stupid.
So sad.
Sad.
It's so sad that people then want, again, it's like vilifying someone because you're the right kind of villain.
He didn't say anything recently. It's just an article about what he said in the past.
Easy target. It just becomes easy target.
Okay. I think I get the gist of this. Gareth needs to improve, do better, be more angry.
We need more articles.
That was your take.
Structure, you know? Yeah. To summarize what Mapelo is saying, you know, and we'll make sure that he hears this episode of the podcast. And next week he must do better. Finish and klar. That's it.
He's gonna come and say,
of course he will, but it's always good to have a reflective thing just to talk about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I wish he was here because
Gareth can do and say what he wants. It's his show. Hey, Mapelo, people fighting with you. If Mapelo wants something different, then he can start his own show. And let's see
you just have a crush on Gareth anyway.
It compares.
Oh, jeez.
I'm fighting back.
Fighting back harsh there.
Ooh. Hey, let's not do that. But let's move along. You know, he's had the criticism, or will one day, someday, maybe he'll take it in, maybe not. But do you guys know where? No, I'm going to rephrase that. Do you know which is the province that has actually the most expensive groceries?
Most expensive groceries?
Yes.
Limpopo?
Why Limpopo? Why would you say Limpopo is expensive?
Because it's fucking far away from everything.
Mapelo?
I would think Free State.
Free State.
Because nothing grows there. It's cold or very hot.
Why are you poo-pooing? You know, things,
no.
there's no port, there's no airport, stuff gets transported. That's what makes things expensive.
Yeah, that reason too.
You guys are both wrong. You guys are, I'm sorry, but you guys are both wrong.
Northern Cape.
No.
Western Cape, because it's another country.
Yeah, well said.
Well, it's on the list. It's in the top 3, but it's not the most expensive place to get.
KZN, because you got to have insurance over looting.
No, the most expensive is right here in Johannesburg. Fun fact. Yeah, so Johannesburg remains the most expensive city in South Africa for groceries. Right? In March 2025, followed by Cape Town and Durban. Okay, according to the Peter Maritzburg Economic Justice and Dignity Group.
These guys makes no sense. We've got high population density here. We've got distribution centers. That makes fuck all sense.
But listen, it says the cost of a household food basket reached about 5,329 Rand nationally, with Johannesburg Johannesburg's basket being 5,481 rand, making it the priciest metro. Durban overtook Cape Town as the
Outrageous.
Ooh.
cheapest city, though food prices are rising across all regions.
That's outrageous. I feel cheated.
Interesting.
I'll
So
get
it's
over
not
it.
Limpopo, guys. It's not the Free State where
So-
things don't grow.
But again,
It's right here.
but like you're talking about groceries, right? Things that need to be shipped from places. Like Limpopo is not making its own Omo.
But they grow a lot of the fruits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like Limpopo,
Okay, but
A
you
lot
can
of
get
farms.
But
great
then
mangoes.
where does
and
that go to get
stuff.
packaged? I stop at the side of the road every time I'm in Limpopo to buy stuff because you get it cheaper there, right? The Avos are cheaper. But we're talking
Tomatoes are
Because it's
groceries.
cheaper.
grown there, yeah.
Oh, okay, but now in the stores too.
But I'm just saying, if you can get the fruits, it's like where I stay. Not too far, there is a farm where they grow cabbages and all these veggies, and then the plantation is right opposite. So I buy my veggies there. It's way cheaper than buying it at Pick and Pay or the other retailers because they got it right there. So in that regard, I think if they're growing it naturally on the farms, that's what makes it cheaper. Because you're not going to Pick and Pay to buy it. So you're buying a mango for 5 rand as opposed to 15 rand because it's been packaged.
Okay, but then how do you know? Because this is informal trade. I mean, if you're talking your basket or your trolley,
And how long
we're
has it
talking
been
stores
there
here.
in the streets? Is it gonna last in your fridge compared to the one? from-
That's a very different topic for another day because I don't think they consider that. I don't think so. Because
Well,
that's also
you with your money need to consider it though.
yes, but I think households are different. For someone like I don't know if you've seen these restocks, right, on TikTok, where people would do a weekly restock and they spent about almost 4,000, and you're thinking that's 4,000 times 4. So and then somebody's like, that would last me a whole month.
Yeah, I don't spend that much in a month.
So it depends. It depends on your household. I mean, I think they're just looking at it in terms of if you went in now, you bought this, whether it lasts you 2 weeks or 3 weeks, this is what you're buying now.
You know, most poor households buy groceries once a month. So for them, it's very important to consider how long it's going to last them. And some households don't even have a fridges. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's real.
Well, then you eat certain things then.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
only
They
have certain
basically you
things.
just buy basics. You buy like once a month. Let's say maybe for veggies, to be honest, of course you do restock, but you don't go every week or every 2 weeks for groceries. You go once a month when you get paid. The cocos get groceries, put them in the cupboard for the whole month, and if something runs out, too bad.
Okay, well, Carl Dos Santos over here saying, Ben, stop being so naive. People have money in Jozi and Cape Town. So the retailers know they can hike prices and still sell.
Yeah, Carl, I get supply, demand, and commerce and stuff, but I just horrified because I think one of the reasons people live in Joburg because it's cheaper.
No. Joburg.
Yeah.
The richest square mile, Santon.
That's
No,
we're
my
not talking
darling.
about paying for machoshas and fucking T-bone steaks in restaurants here.
No, but I'm talking about, if you think about it, right? Johannesburg is the business heart of South Africa. So if you want to make money, you come to Joburg. And we know that. And obviously, they've positioned Sandton as the richest square mile in Africa. So that means when you come here, you want to spend your top dollar. So things are going to be hiked up because of that.
So are you telling me that a Pick and Pay in Sandton, no, you're telling me that the Checkers in Sandton is going to have more expensive stuff than a Checkers in, I don't know, Sanin?
I think so. But I know with cars, when I was car shopping, I was told to not necessarily buy my car, like for example in Sandton, because whatever price they give me is going to be higher than if I went to like the East Rand or Durban or something. Like it might be the same brand, so for example BMW, but the price of that car is very different because of where it's located. So there's something that plays to where things are located. Things do go up because, getting a 1-room apartment in Sandton will cost you 10K, and it's a studio thing. It's very small.
But that's a
because it's Sandton.
But that's a different product, though.
But groceries, since now there's online shopping, you can literally order, let's say, for example, from Macro. Macro doesn't have an app a 60 minutes app. They have a national app where everyone they order, they see same prices. So that macro is not going to have different prices compared to others.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
does that work online?
Humutz was even saying even the gym fees are more expensive in Joburg.
The what?
Gym
Oh,
fees.
that's
are
a
more
different
expensive.
product.
Yeah, of course it
Groceries?
is. Groceries are universal. Yeah, exactly to your points. Now it's being standardized through technology. That's why I find this thing to
No,
be.
it's not. Actually, it's not. I think the basic like bread has been standardized, right? Because it's what's this thing? It's a staple that everyone needs to buy. So there's certain items. That's why there's certain goods that don't have VAT on it, right? But if you went
You're
and
telling me that
bought,
there's something in this country that Cyril hasn't touched. I don't believe you for a second.
No, but I do know, like, for example, if you walked into a Woolworths, I'm going to make an example. This is an example. And you bought biscuits at Woolworths, right? They will not be the same price at a Boxer. No. And those are the same biscuits. I'm talking about the same, like, if you bought, like, Eatsamores, for example. The ones that go Woolworths and Checkers, they different. We've seen it. We've done this with milk, guys.
It's fine.
We buy milk at the office. Like, we look at
No,
it's the same brand.
I totally
but
get that, but
different prices.
But
Sure.
one shop will have different prices. Woolworths in Cape Town and Woolworths
yeah,
in Joburg.
that's more the point we're trying to get at here. That's what would make no sense
Because
to me.
you would
But what-
say
Yes, okay, cool.
groceries are cheaper in the Eastern Cape, for example, because
Okay.
there isn't more Woolworths, there isn't Checkers, there are ShopRite, Boxer, Roots for your meat. So you'd say, oh, you get groceries for cheaper there because there aren't expensive shops like Woolworths and Checkers, you know what I'm saying? So if you come to Joburg, of course, you're going to find a lot of Woolworths everywhere. And that's where you're going to get your groceries because it's everywhere. It's where it's close. You're not going to go and find Boxer in the CBD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look, this is becoming a boring conundrum, but I'm as perplexed as you on that. Let's just carry on.
Okay, so yeah, that's a cool fun fact that you guys know, and maybe we should get someone.
I
to
just think
educate
a
us.
particular store can get fucked if they want to have, but I don't see how it's possible because if you're on the 60/60 app, like you said, they got one price no matter where you live.
Yeah. And you mentioned bread that it doesn't have VAT.
It's not supposed to because it's a staple.
White bread has VAT.
White bread might not
I mean,
be considered
too-
a
too-
staple.
too bad for the
Brown
white.
bread might
Too-
be.
Too bad for the whites. There's even racism with bread.
Even in the bread, huh?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, this is high school knowledge now. There's certain items that do not have VAT. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course, there are
Okay.
items like brown bread, rice, mealie meal, apparently school fees.
School fees.
There are a lot of municipality services,
Petrol,
water,
let's add
waste.
petrol. It's also essential.
But petrol has VAT, doesn't it?
Fuck, it's
It
got
doesn't
more
have
than that.
VAT, but there are a lot of tree taxes, I think. It's already being taxed, but they're
It's like
saying
40% too expensive because of stupid shit like road accident fund and
and they claim that it
other
doesn't have
levies
VAT, as if we need more tax on top of that.
Yo, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. On to other news. There is a guy who basically did this thing of being a thief. He went into a store and he decided to steal some jewelry. Do you want to guess what he stole?
where Limpopo or where's this guy?
No, this was in Orlando. So this is America.
Okay.
This is America. He woke up one day, decided to be a thief. He walked into a store and decided to steal some diamonds, Tiffany diamonds to be exact, worth 600,000
Rands or
Dollars.
dollars.
Oh,
And you know what he did? He tried swallowing them when he got
That's
caught. When he got caught by the police.
And
he's built different.
They rushed him to hospital and they got the diamonds out.
The process.
I love how you make it sound so nice. They got the diamonds out. They made him make a poo and they waited and watched him.
The process. I don't even think about it.
Like,
Yeah, so being a thief doesn't pay. I mean, he stole items in South African rands was worth over 14 million rand.
do
right?
you reckon swallowing was always his game plan, or was he panicked into the?
I think he was panicked. because I think he thought he might have made a getaway, but
It's a
then
bit of a
like
dead end, though. Hey?
the cops kind of caught him, and then he was like, okay, like if the evidence is not in the car, I guess
What's the planning for that?
I don't know. I'm not a criminal, so I don't know how people
But
think.
I mean, you're unfortunately your asshole's a bit of a dead end because people are going to be waiting there, going, "Yep, here it is." It reminds me of those border shows at the airports where the guys try to do the drugs,
yes.
Mhm.
and you can just see they are sweating and they go through that special machine, and you can see like the little things of cocaine.
Small blocks.
Yeah, and the guy's like, "Nah, nothing in there." Like, dude, there's drugs in your intestine, whatever. And then they take them to hospital, and then that's always the best content because they film these guys
Yes.
and they go, "Yep, just waiting for him to take a shit," and then that's it. And it must be the most demoralizing thing as a human,
Gee,
knowing that your next cuck makes you a criminal.
being on TV on top of that.
Because normally in life, when you go take a shit, okay, it's like, okay, and you go take a shit afterwards, I can carry on my life. But your life literally will end with this cuck.
Yeah, you're being defined by that.
Yeah.
It's what you
But I
are.
think it was like, hey man, shout out to him for thinking on his feet and was like, I don't want them to see the diamonds on me, so I'll
Thing
just
on his
swallow them.
feet.
Shout out to him. Quick question for you, Ben. Has AI made you obsolete?
I think, yeah. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Ultimately, AI is going to make all of us obsolete to a certain degree.
Mhm.
So we have to get smarter with these things. But then I also think, like, people have been saying that now for 4 or 5 years. Okay.
Mhm.
But how much has it changed? Like, does anyone actually have a job now that they don't have because of AI? Because ultimately, like, I work in content, right?
Mhm.
We're probably going to get to the point where content is so created through AI, no one's going to give a shit about you or what you say because it's just going to become whatever. So yeah, I have to move away from that completely. I need to find something else. I need to find ways to make companies run more efficiently or some shit. But that's also going to be AI. I mean, Mapelo, your entire company is going to become AI.
But with AI, you must know how to use it. It's
all
not
in the
gonna use
application.
itself. You're gonna need someone behind it
To run the stuff.
to run.
So that's what Bill Gates was saying because, I mean, untrustworthy fat man. But he says that if you work in engineering or renewable or like energy sources or biology kind of stuff, AI is never going to be able to take your job because there's way too much interpretation and application that goes into it. Even with coding, like you think that AI can code, but coding is about creating code and then meticulously scrutinizing it to the point that it's actually usable. And an AI will never be able to do that.
And there needs to be someone who wants to code a specific thing. So AI won't just code out of the blue. you know. So we can just say there are gonna be fewer people working, the ones who are actually behind the AI. I mean, sending instructions to the system.
Yeah, I guess.
Look, put it this way, AI is going to trim a lot of fat.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's already the case with many things. I'm just curious as to people who may have been trimmed already because of AI.
I mean, I think they'll be fine. I think certain professions I'm more worried about. It might be a good thing that AI is taking over, like healthcare.
Like
right?
if you're a data capturer or there's other things.
Yeah, I think with that one, I don't know, but I look at it in terms of healthcare, right? Like where AI, they have the robots coming in to do the surgeries, and they've seen that like the robots do a better job, less mistakes. Like in that case, you want more of that in the system. You want less complications and faster surgeries.
That is a crazy
But that also
thought,
means
eh?
that the profession of being a doctor is going to become obsolete. And we've always looked at doctors or that profession like something is like, oh my word, like if there's one thing you can study and you always get a job and you always be secure, boom shaka boom, be a lawyer, be a doctor, those professions. And I think those are the professions that are in the most danger. Like, hey, if someone can do this better, faster, they can do the surgery, they can do this, why not?
Would you want a robot to operate on you?
I wouldn't mind if there's going to be less complications and it's going to be faster.
But
I would not mind.
But if you suddenly right now had an issue with your pancreas or something, now that you're in your 30s, and you had to go to surgery right now, and they said, Dr. Ndlovu's not here. We've got
Alpha 360.
Alpha 360,
we've got
okay.
Alpha 360 H1 here.
Okay.
We'll cut you open. And would you go, cool? Be honest.
I would ask questions
gotta
around
be accountable.
Alpha 60. How many
What's his battery
surgeries-
life?
Yes. How many surgeries has he done? How many complications has that thing experienced? I would ask about the fact like
They're going to say 0, Mr. Mthethwa. He's fully charged. He's ready to go.
so I'm the guinea pig that he's practicing on. No.
Who's gonna be accountable
No.
if something wrong happens?
No, what I'm saying is I don't want to be the first person. I don't want it. It must have done its trial and error with other humans, and then I want to be the person that's like, he's perfected the art.
I mean,
Then yes.
with
I don't
healthcare,
mind then. I don't.
operating on someone, you also involves being ethics, being ethical. Since I work in ethics, so AI, how I don't know how it's gonna work, but another place that I think AI is very very needed in the municipalities. We need AI to
Oh, jeepers. You can run an Excel spreadsheet and it'll improve the municipalities.
because I had one thing that actually there are budgets that go to the municipalities. Of course, they steal the money, but there's a lot of money that goes back to the wallet that is not being used, but there isn't work done. I'm like, why? There aren't people there who are to do the work, to say, okay, we need to fix that street. But if you had maybe AI, they would know, okay, maybe with that cut street camera is looking at that street, knowing that, okay, we had that pothole since yesterday, so it needs to be fixed,
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's like turkeys. What's the saying? Turkeys voting for Christmas. It's like no government's going to get the efficiency systems to come in because they're going to have to work hard and they're going to be shown up to not do any work whatsoever. So AI will always be fought in this country because accountability it's a swear word.
yes, but another reason why AI might be, not welcome in South Africa is because of the amount of water it uses, right? So did you know that in order to shoot off 1 email per week for a tool like ChatGPT uses up to 27 liters of water?
How?
We have the ocean.
No. No.
How the fuck is water used?
It's what keeps the
The machines
thing.
running.
Like, how there's servers and like back in the day it was like an actual and it was like you had a room where all the servers are. Similar to that with AI, but what keeps it going is water. So that's how you
Is it like are they is this
so
like
it
a
uses
manatee?
a lot of water, like a lot.
Some things just don't work in my head. This is one of them. So you telling me if I go into ChatGPT right now and say, why does water get used? And they respond to me, we've lost a flush of the toilet, basically.
Yes. So every time you prompted to send write up a 100-word email, I know I did a bit of reading on this, like a 100-word email, something like that. That's how much water it uses.
So what would happen?
And that's just one AI tool, right? So you can imagine there's various other AI tools that are being used by various companies on a much larger scale.
I need to
So
know.
there's a lot more water being used.
I need to know more. Like, I understand that people always make that thing that for every pair of jeans, you're basically wasting 1,000 liters of water because there's a washing process to physically make a product. This is an electronic system that relies on servers, networks, and the magic of the internet. Where's the water? I know I sound stupid right now, but
Okay.
I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. Where the fuck's the water coming in here?
Okay, so the
Is it a
energy-
hydroelectric plant
Okay, no.
that is running
So
this thing?
here's to answer your question. It says, why does AI require a lot of water? Answer.
Maybe you could have started with that.
This energy is converted into heat, so we need to get rid of the heat. Water evaporation is one of the most efficient ways to cool down the data center facilities.
I want to see the data center. Is it a dam?
You said evaporation,
Water evaporation.
meaning that the water goes back to the atmosphere and it comes back. So it's like a recycling system. We'll never run out of water. We shouldn't be worried.
I wouldn't think like that, Mapelo. Considering all the issues we have with Joburg water, yeah, like
We don't have a problem with Joburg water, apparently. We have a problem with leaks.
okay, what's
know
going
that-
on there?
You know, there was a whole water in Darba this week. It's actually happening right now.
Oh, really?
Cyril's gone there to see if
He
there's
likes
anything for
hosting
free.
events, no? Like things.
Who's fucking inviting this oak? He gave the keynote speech at the water in Darba.
Yeah, I'm
What?
sure he was shocked a lot about
What?
a lot of things.
Cupcake.
What can he add as a keynote speaker other than I'm very surprised that we have leaks?
Is that what he said?
No, I mean he
Um,
obviously said
What do you expect?
useless bullshit that no one cares about. But how is he a keynote speaker in anything other than how to steal money and handouts? I mean, I'd listen to that one. That would be a TED talk. I would be there taking notes. This is an expert in his field. But water, the water in Daba?
What does he know?
Could they not have got maybe a scientist or someone who works with water, someone who's maybe turned metros around globally through efficiency? Could they not have maybe got?
Do we have a minister of
We have every minister for
course.
everything.
yes, because so would that minister not be more applicable to speak?
Well,
in
that
such
minister will
ways?
probably do something else at the water in Daba. But would you not get an expert? Because if we have problems, you're looking for solutions, right? Cyril is not a solution to anything.
And ministers are also not
No,
a
yeah,
solution for anything.
Blows my mind.
because-
But yeah, there's a water in Daba right now. And what they're saying is that basically we've got water, no worries there. It's just that we don't have a way of holding it properly. So basically Joburg is just one big leak.
It's like an AI, big AI system.
So this is the solution, right?
Okay.
They've now got noise like thingies. So there's a frequency that when there's a leak, there's a different sound that comes through the pipes. So they've now put things all over the pipes to work out, oh, there's a different noise there, so therefore there's a leak. But then someone's got to still patch the leak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we know there's a fucking leak. Pretty sure that's like easy.
Mhm.
What's the next step?
But we do report the damn leaks. They still never get fixed.
Yeah, I also report them often.
Yeah, I do. Even in my area, I report them. But the leak is going to carry on for months. And I'll keep reporting it, but nothing happens. So if you have these detectors, what's going to happen? What difference does it make?
So basically, like they're applying the Zondo commission to the pipes. It's like leak there, fucked over there, messing there. But okay, what's the next step? And I hope that this Ndaba then is the next step as to how we then plug stuff.
Sure. Okay.
Commission of a commission.
I don't ever understand these like water in Daba events, the G20 events that take place. Like
You should attend them.
yeah, no, I mean in terms of you get all these leaders coming in one place talking about some of the issues. One will beg, ask for money, another one will give him the money and be like, okay, but I want this in return. I don't get the purpose of them in terms of the fact that they make it seem as if there's progress in this particular area of like water and whatnot, but the reality is nothing is getting fixed. So why do we host these events? Why do we keep doing these kind of events?
Well, they're under the illusion that things do get fixed. It's like this whole thing, like a committee for a committee, as you say. There's the illusion that they are doing their job, but it's not for them to actually do the work. That's far too hard. They expect that the work gets done by somebody, but they're doing the really magnanimous thing of highlighting the problems.
We are aware that they're always aware.
They're creating awareness. So Congo Chris says, Ben, our government isn't there. Our government's not there to solve problems. They're there to create a dependency on the state while enriching themselves. They're communists. Exactly. So they'll have these Ndawas all day because it's about like we're addressing it, we acknowledge it, and that's enough.
No, that's not enough. The problem with
Of course it's not.
our government is they don't have a vision for South Africa, and I'm not talking about the dependency that they're trying to create with every other South African. They don't have a clear like vision to say this is our stance. I mean,
No, they do a vision. It's the new 7 series. It probably comes out next year.
I guess.
Or it's an AMG version of a car that no one's got yet. That's the vision.
No, but for the country, like it's almost like they haven't created. When you think of the Springboks and you think, oh my gosh, like they had a vision in terms of wanting to be the best.
Yes.
And that was the goal. So they worked towards that goal. They won the World Cup. We're gonna do it again. Now they're back to back World Cup winners, and it's like, okay, cool, but it started off with someone having a vision. I feel like our government lacks that. They do not have a vision in any sense of, I want South Africa to get to this place. And even though they might not be but achieving that, they still have that end goal in mind. All they want to do is make themselves richer. And it's sad.
Well, that is their vision because, to use the example there, the vision that the box had was from out of a wanting to be successful and to be iconic and to uplift players and tell stories. Cyril and his mates, their vision is we need to enrich ourselves. That's it.
Yeah, whoever
It
comes
stops.
from wherever, even here in South Africa, entrepreneurs or other governments from other countries, whoever brings the money to their pockets, they will go with that. There's no vision for South Africa. The vision is the money.
The vision's for them. So I think you're being very harsh, Simphiwe. I think they do have vision, but not for South Africa. The last thing they have is that.
Jeez.
They'll use it as a leverage point, but their vision is today, balling, my time.
That is sad. That is sad. That is sad. But Mapelo, I got a question for you. You watching a new Netflix show, apparently? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, I finished watching the latest show I did watch was Adolescence.
Okay, what's that about?
This 13-year-old kid gets arrested for murdering another 13-year-old, apparently. I think another 13-year-old. And firstly, there are two things about that show, right? Is the one thing is the hype. Was like, what's the hype about?
Okay.
So like, okay, apparently every episode is uncut. There are no cut, and then they move to another scene or whatever. It's continuous the whole episode.
Yeah, that is a feat of engineering in itself. Wow.
Sure.
But I don't believe it's real, because I've seen that. Even Netflix have done it before with one movie. One is Extraction 2. There's a long scene there, like action-packed, a lot of guns and explosions.
There was a First World War movie. I forget it now. It's like 1917 or 1918, whatever.
All quiet in the Western
But
front.
it's one scene.
Yes, one scene. I think the third of the movie is one scene.
Well, it gets sped up a little bit because you go from day to night. But yeah, it's one continuous, seamless scene.
If they can do that with movies where you know for sure that it is cut but seamlessly, why wouldn't they do it with that show and claim that it's not cut? Because I don't think anyone would act for so long, for a whole hour, with crying and stopping crying, smashing things, getting angry, calming down. Where are the pauses to see the script? You know what I'm saying? I don't believe it. Because they've done it before, and we know for sure with movies that there are a lot of cuts, there are a lot of stunt doubles. So why wouldn't they do it with this show? And another thing, the whole thing about uncut is pointless. You know why? It's boring as hell.
Oh.
Having someone going to the shop, sitting at the front of the bar key with his family, chatting, and then staying quiet. And then you have to watch them going to the shop, get to the shop, follow them the whole time. I'm like, what's the point of the whole thing?
Well, it's about creating something different. I think the whole uncut thing, when you watch the Menendez brothers Netflix show, there was, I think it was like episode 3, whatever, and the entire episode was just on the one guy talking about how his dad basically did all kinds of things to him. But he's in a he's in the room in the prison where he's talking to his lawyer, and the entire scene was just one big Ken Burns shot of out wide. So you see the room, you see her, you see the table and him. The episode ends with just his face because you've just panned in for fucking 40 minutes, but it's unbroken. It is absolutely like, okay, if you're into the show, into the subject matter, and you're getting into the character, okay, this guy's breaking down how his dad basically fucked him senseless. It's hectic. But the entire thing is just one thing. And it worked so beautifully in that because it was captivating and you couldn't help, because the whole point, I think, of the scene was to make you side with the guy in this story. Yes. We know that he's about to be found guilty and spend his whole life in prison.
Of course.
But this scene was to get you on his side. And it was so heartfelt. But
they made him human, like, what's up?
But it was fucking incredibly well shot. And there was one thing. Literally, the thing panned for all of like a meter.
But with that show, it gets boring because someone will be alone in the bedroom, cry and cry.
Oh, you've lost me.
And I'm like, oh my Lord.
Wait, Ben, you have an issue with people crying?
Well, I don't know what to do. What do? Do you make a joke? Do you hug them?
An old man crying.
I'm so bad with shit like that.
I literally...
It's like the other day, someone said something serious, and the first thing that came to my mind was to make an inappropriate joke, and I felt so bad. But it's all I got.
I literally skipped, jumped.
Yeah.
10
So,
seconds.
so you
forward.
became the editor, basically. So what you said.
Yeah, I did jump. I
Oh.
did jump. The guy is just crying. I'm like, why are we watching this? If it was a normal show, they would have cut to another scene. But they have to follow the same people for the whole episode.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
but-
So
but-
clearly, this is a show that we should not be watching, especially
But
if we do not enjoy.
if someone help me out here, if someone's basically just crying or
You go hug them.
But
You go
what-
find out what's wrong. You
As-
know, like, and you
okay.
just,
can you just go and hug people as guys?
I think so. Obviously, don't hug a stranger. Like, don't do that. This is someone you know, but like, it's that thing of like, oh, someone's having an emotional moment, and you there to not judge them, to not ridicule them, but to just kind of give them a
Well,
hug.
obviously
And you
not.
don't, and you don't need to be speaking there. If you kind of know why they're crying, maybe like a parent or a loved one passed on, you don't need to console them by saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. No, you can just be there in the moment. If they're crying because it's a breakup, you can just hug them, you know, and just be like, you
Just,
know what?
just be present is what you're saying.
yes,
Just be there
that's-
for them.
That's all a lot of people need. Simon Sinek shared that people need, I think it's 8 minutes, right? And so he has this thing with his best friend,
It's a big
right?
commitment, huh?
Right? He has this thing with his best friend when he's not feeling okay and he's not all right, or vice versa, when she's not okay, or whatever. They'll text each other, be like, do you have 8 minutes? And that's all you need. You need someone to be in that moment with you. Doesn't matter if you're feeling anxious, angry, sad, but someone to be in that moment with you for 8 minutes
There's
for you to
something-
be able to carry on with your day.
There's something so trivial about that. Like someone's taken a heartfelt thing and trying to be analytic about it. Okay, so you need to be heartfelt in there, but we're gonna put a stopwatch on it. Like, get fucked. Is this
I think
where we
we're not the
are now
same,
as
though.
humans? We got to analyze everything to the nth degree that we're now looking at compassion must now take 8 minutes.
No,
Then it's not
I mean,
compassion.
obviously you don't need to time it, but they've
I'm not saying
yes.
but I think it's just funny how someone has packaged it like that. It's like, look, guys, we can make a difference in just 8 minutes or your money back.
I
Don't
have,
look at it like that, but yes.
I used to have a problem with that, but I'm becoming a better person. Because if someone has a problem, brings a problem to me, and they're asking for an advice, I used to jump to solving that problem, to be rational. Okay, here's where you are wrong.
It's a very masculine thing, yeah.
You know, I'm like, okay, try to solve it. Come with solutions. Okay, here's how you should look at it, at this thing. And then you realize, well, actually, but I realized that some people don't like that. They just want me to say it's gonna be okay and listen and say, I'm sorry, this happened
Yeah.
to you.
But
I'm on your
the
side.
talkers will then talk, right? All I'm saying, in that moment when you walk in and you don't know what to do, just be present. The person who wants to talk will talk. If they don't want to talk, it's okay. That's it. Finish it.
So, Mapelo, on that, I think another way of looking at it, because I think all people want to be problem solvers, right?
Yeah, as a man, more especially.
It's a very masculine thing because you see problem, you want to, it's like see fire, make fire stop. See threat, neutralize threat. But a lot of the time, and I think maybe this is more what like feminine energy or mindset is needed to be balanced, is that you realize that some problems just can't ever be solved, but you need to find a way of dealing with a problem. You're never going to solve it because it's always going to be there. And I think that's the main difference between like the sort of two things, is that you go in there with the mindset of like, okay, I need you to stop crying because it's fucking awkward. I don't know what to say. But then they're like, well, I'm going to cry tomorrow as well. Probably the day after because, you know, hashtag global warming, whatever the fuck you want to put in there. And finding a way as humans in our 8 minutes to basically say, we're not going to solve a problem, but we're going to make it easier.
Yeah, that's what I do. Some problems.
Then you're winning. How do you
because
make things softer?
my thing is not to tell you what to do. It's just ask questions, listen to you. In that process, you will realize, okay, I should do this. This is how I should look at it. I know I can't solve it. It's out of my hands, but at least for me to move on, this is what I should do
Very mature.
about it, you know.
Yeah, very mature.
Okay. I think you guys know what to do now. Next time you see someone cry. And on that note, let me remind you that it's my birthday.
It is. Simphiwe, well
It's my
done.
birthday. It's my birthday. I shall not be saying my age because
She's 30.
She's old. That's
oh
all
my
I can tell
gosh,
you.
Ben, why
She's
did you ruin my
old.
moment? Like, I was
Because
having
that's
a
how we
moment.
started the show by saying you're 30.
Yeah, but
And I
don't,
said
like,
it's an absolute honor to be 30.
Okay, but on that note, it's my birthday. It's all about me. You're welcome to send me gifts. Money would be great, but
Do we not have? Do you not have like a Patreon or something that we can like?
hey,
Jade,
man,
is there a
just
QR code to put in the
shoot
screen
your
here?
shots in the DM. Ask for my bank details. I'll give them to you. You can spoil, sister. I'm not going to say no to like free goodies, but enjoy your weekend, guys, because I'm going to be indoors with my little one. Ben is going to get a new haircut, maybe.
Hopefully, play golf if the
He
rain
needs
really
it.
piss off.
And Mapelo, what are you going to be up to?
I'm gonna be in Joburg until tomorrow, and then go back and just live my life as normal.
Very good.
Oh, so nice.
Very
And
good
everybody
approach.
else in the comment section, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Gareth Cliff will be back, and hopefully the Gareth Cliff show will be great again next week, Monday.
Don't insult me, Gareth. Please.
Deuces.
Manus, haal je vinger uit mijn anus. Doe niet zo abnormaal. Doe niet zo animaal. Manus, haal je vinger uit mijn anus. Doe weg die poot. Of je krijgt een stoot.
Oh Nel, ik ben biseksueel. Maar ja, ik kan daar niks aan doen. Je hebt zo'n mooie kont, zo mollig en zo rond. Oh wat een gat, wat een gevoel is dat.
Manus, haal je vinger uit mijn anus. Doe niet zo abnormaal. Doe niet zo